Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that intro! This week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. This month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Now, breast cancer is cancer that forms in the cells of a person's breast. Symptoms of breast cancer include a lump in the breast, bloody discharge from the nipple, and changes in the shape or texture of the nipple on the breast. Here in the U.S., there are more than 200,000 cases per year, and it commonly occurs with women, but men can also be diagnosed with it. Now, if you don't believe me, one of the greatest game show announcers in the history of game shows, and I'm talking about Roddy, who was a long-time announcer for The Price is Right, was diagnosed and died of breast cancer in 2003. So to all the people that think that men can't catch it or can't be diagnosed with it, you're wrong. And treatment depends on the stage of cancer. It may consist of chemotherapy, radiation, or surgery. My mom is an 8-year breast cancer survivor. So this really hits home for me. And not only that, my aunt is a breast cancer survivor. And then I had a great aunt who was a breast cancer survivor and lived to see past 100. So, so for all of you that think that you can't beat breast cancer, you're wrong. These three women are reasons that you can beat it. Now, so if you think there's something wrong, go get checked out. Now, I know it's going to be kind of hard because we're still in a pandemic, and the first priority for a lot of doctors and nurses are the health of folks that have tested positive for COVID. But still, just go, be patient. They'll get to you. This is a breast cancer themed Comic Hero tee, and inside the speech bubble we have some fists, and those fists are my encouragement for every man and woman diagnosed with breast cancer to fight. And this episode goes out to everyone that has beaten breast cancer, everyone that is fighting breast cancer, and the families of those that have lost their lives to breast cancer. This episode is for you. And I do this every year in the month of October, right after I do the anniversary episode, and I'm going to continue doing it. All right, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. All right, on last week's episode, I asked which Marvel character regularly donates their organs to those in need because of the character's rapid healing factor. Now, I gave some hints on last week's episode. The first hint was this character debuted in the comics in New Mutants number 98 in 1991. The second hint, this character is also known as the Merc with a Mouth. And the third hint, this character's favorite snack is chimichangas. And then the fourth and final hint, and this is probably a dead giveaway to a lot of folks. This character is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and is played by Ryan Reynolds. Well, the correct answer is the one and the only Deadpool. And 18 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names been entered in the drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Robbie Gallant from Bossier City, Louisiana. So congratulations, Robbie. Winning yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Green Lantern question. Which Green Lantern once broke bad and became a Red Lantern? Now here are some hints. The first hint, this character made their debut in Green Lantern number 59 in 1968. The second hint, John Stewart became a Green Lantern as a result of this Green Lantern suffering a serious injury. And then the third and final hint, this character also went by the superhero name Warrior before becoming a Green Lantern once again in 2005. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in the drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Alright, now the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight is usually reserved for fans to make requests. But every once in a while, I like to come up with this one. And this one features 2 breast cancer survivors, both in the Marvel Universe. Representing Marvel, we have Valkyrie. And also representing Marvel, we have Firestar. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Valkyrie versus Firestar. Valkyrie possesses flight and access to Yonder Yarn, a weapon that can change its shape and be whatever she needs. These include a sword, an extendable mace, or even wings. Firestar possesses microwave radiation manipulation, flight, and electromagnetic energy wavelength disruption. Who will win? This fight would be in the skies the majority of the time. Firestar would strike first with a blast of microwave radiation, but Valkyrie would knock the blast out of her way with Yonder Yarn. Valkyrie, in a return, then commands Yonder Yarn to take the form of a chain, wrap it around Firestar, and begin to choke her out. In a last-ditch effort, Firestar delivers a heavy dose of microwave radiation that was intended for Valkyrie. Instead, it hits Valkyrie's Pegasus. The Pegasus dies, and leaves Valkyrie in an unquenchable rage. Yonder Yarn transforms into a pair of wings for Valkyrie. She strikes Firestar and causes her to crash to the ground. Valkyrie then commands Yonder Yarn to transform into a mace, and she ends the fight by beating Firestar to a pulp. Valkyrie wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed that fight. I'll have another one for next week. Now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there are 3 things that I'm going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and the first one is the news of the Green Lantern Corps TV show coming to HBO Max. Now, it was revealed all the, or some of the characters that are going to be on there, and they're going to be Guy Gardner, Jessica Cruz, Simon Baz, and Sinestro. When I first saw this, it really didn't make a lot of sense at first, but then after thinking about it for a while, that last one that I just named, Sinestro, now it makes sense. They're doing this in a way to make it a lot more diverse. I mean, including Jessica Cruz, who is a Hispanic character, and then Simon Baz, who's a Lebanese character. Now you're probably wondering, why is Hal Jordan not in it? Well, Hal Jordan, well, first off, Sinestro is in it. You have to remember, in the comics, Sinestro was once a Green Lantern. He was regarded as one of the greatest Green Lanterns until he broke bad. Ended up setting up shop on the antimatter planet Accord, and then forging his own ring, and then eventually starting his own Sinestro Corps. And it was also Sinestro who trained Hal Jordan, so we're probably not going to see Hal Jordan in the first season, but maybe the second or the third season, depending on how the ratings go. And then also, John Stewart's not on there, and deductive reasoning told me that the only reason he's not on there is he's probably going, because in the comics, he became a Green Lantern as a result of Guy Gardner injuring himself while he went on a bus trip with some students. So you're probably going to see those characters somewhere down the line. Now, you're probably wondering, why is Kyle Rayner not there? Well, in the comics, Kyle Rayner becomes a Green Lantern after Hal Jordan had ended up getting infected by Parallax and ended up killing all the Green Lantern Corps and either injuring or killing everyone with the exception of Ganthet, who ends up going to Earth and then finding Kyle Rayner and giving him a power ring, making him, at the time, the only Green Lantern. So I think this is great. I think, you know, now you're probably wondering why did they go with Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz, who didn't make their debuts until this past decade. Well, like I said, they want to make the show diverse, and the only way they can do that is by including these two characters. So I get what they're doing, and I support what they're doing. I can't wait to see this show. All right, now the second thing is that Doctor Strange was revealed to be a main factor in the next Spider-Man movie. And I see what they're doing. I see what Marvel's doing. They're going, and I think the script is going to suggest that Spider-Man is going to enlist the services of Doctor Strange to undo everything that happened in Paris. Of course, we all know that Mysterio ended up, or should I say Quentin Beck was his real name, ended up outing Spider-Man and revealing his identity to the whole world and saying that he killed him as he was dying, although we all know that's not true. So I think he's bringing in Doctor Strange to undo all that, and it's going to result in something catastrophic. And all I have to say is, Spider-Verse anyone? Alright, now the third and final thing is that Vincent D'Onofrio is interested in reprising his role as the Kingpin / Wilson Fisk in the next Spider-Man movie. Marvel, sign that man! Cast him! Do it! I mean, D'Onofrio, when he played the Kingpin on Daredevil, his version of the Kingpin was spot on. I loved it. I mean, he is my second favorite Kingpin behind the one on Spider-Man, the animated series, that was voiced by the late great Roscoe Lee Brown. Yeah, go ahead and cast that man. And then also, just throwing this out here, Charlie Cox, he will reprise his role as Matt Murdock in Daredevil. And I cannot wait! Wow, I mean, just when you thought Marvel Studios is kind of heading along the wayside, it's starting to get a lot interesting. And I can't wait to see what the next phase is going to bring. And it's going to be a long time because, you know, we're still in, like I said earlier, we're still in a pandemic. And a lot of movies are being pushed back because of it. And a lot of production and filming is being pushed back because of it. I mean, we're still not out of the woods yet. I mean, we still have a long way. I mean, we still have a good ways to go until, you know, this pandemic is over. But it's gonna end. I know it. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Hey everyone. Earlier this week we lost one of the greatest guitarists of any genre. Very beloved man. And I'm talking about Eddie Van Halen. Passed away this past Tuesday. And of course he was a co-founder of Van Halen. I mean, they had they had different lead singers, but the two notably great ones they had, of course, David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar. But it was Eddie's guitar solos that really drove the entire group. Well, him and his brother Alex's drums. I mean, not only did they come out with great songs like Running with the Devil, Jamie's Crying, Beautiful Girls, Dance the Night Away, Mean Streets, Jump, I'll Wait, Hot for Teacher, When It's Love, and one of my personal favorites, Pound Cake. He also did collaborations he probably did one of the greatest collaborations ever, and I'm talking about with Michael Jackson in the song Beat It. Of course, who could ever forget his epic guitar riffs and an even better guitar solo in it. Well, this is an Eddie Van Halen Memorial Comic Hero team, and of course inside the speech bubble we have his trademark guitar pattern, and then also I have the patch with his initials, and then I have the Van Halen logo on each sleeve. There'll just never be an Eddie Van Halen, let's just be real. And Eddie, we love you. My thoughts go out to your family right now, and we'll see you on the other side. Oh, and thank you, sir. Now, earlier today, while I was at work, a book finally came in that I've been looking for about a month and a half, and that's Captain Marvel, number 19. And with that book, that brings my total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 10,215. Alright, first up is SpiderMan number 49 or SpiderMan number 850. That's the number of the book overall. Excited about this one. Batman number 100. Champions number 1. Deadpool number 7. Far Sector number 8. Justice League number 54. The Magnificent Ms. Marvel number 15. Marauders number 13. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 19. Thor number 8. Wonder Woman Annual number 4. X-Force number 13. And finally, Young Justice number 19. Alright, that's 13, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 10,228. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. Which Green Lantern once broke bad and became a Red Lantern? Now, here are the hints. The first hint, this character debuted in Green Lantern number 59 in 1968. The second hint, John Stewart became a Green Lantern as a result of this one being critically injured. And then the third and final hint, this character went by the name of Warrior before becoming a Green Lantern once again in 2005. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Robbie Gallant from Bossier City, Louisiana, who won a free tee on this week's episode. Alright, here's the road ahead for the show. Now, on next week's episode, I'm going to raise awareness of domestic violence. Now, domestic violence is something that goes on in the world, and it really needs to stop. I just hate it when this goes on, and you know, often, you know, when there's a domestic dispute, the woman is usually on the receiving end. And it doesn't matter whether a woman or a man's on the receiving end. There's no room for this. Not in this world. Not anywhere. I don't care what where you live or what the scenario may be. Domestic violence is wrong. And at this time, on a much lighter note, I want to make a toast to all the fighters, the survivors, and all those who are no longer with us, with breast cancer. Cheers to y'all, and hopefully one day a cure will be found for breast cancer, and it'll be something of the past. All right. Also, I want to thank everyone for all the love that I got last week. You know, doing the 7th anniversary episode of the show. I mean, I can tell you, the show has come a mighty long way since its beginning. Very thankful for getting the opportunity of doing this. Very thankful for all the fans. Just thankful for everything. And I'm going to keep doing this until I'm physically unable to. And well, yeah. All right, I'm Victor Noli on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 330. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and fight on!